This episode of Android Authority is brought to you by the LG G3. The biggest feature of the LG G3 is, quite literally, its biggest feature, and that's the 5.5-inch screen that comes with a Quad HD resolution at 2560 by 1440. But we wanted to take a closer look at this screen, the first of its kind available in the United States, and take a look at some of the benefits, not only in regards to the high resolution, but also to the larger size of the screen itself. So, it's Josh Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is a look at the screen of the LG G3. Now, one of the best ways to take a look at the benefits of a Quad HD display is to compare it to more conventional screens, like, say, a 1080p display. And what better one to show than the original LG G2, the G3's predecessor that also came with its own great display. If you take a look at this already, you'll see that LG has continued to really push the envelope in terms of their bezel sizes around the screen. The G2 kind of started it, and the G3 continues it. You only get pretty much the screen up front, which is great because it also helps with the handling, which we'll get into in a bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at some comparison. I'm going to zoom into a lot of elements on both of these devices, and you'll see the difference in resolution and also in the sharpness from one to the other. Here's a look at some icons that I had on the screen. You'll see that both of these displays have the same wallpaper, so that we have a good point of reference when it comes to the look on both of these devices. And we'll take a look at a few of the icons here. Now you'll notice that there's just a little bit more clarity on the right side, which is of course the LG G3, and on the left side the G2. While it does have a respectable pixel density of its own, the higher resolution of the G3 obviously allows for even more to be packed in. Alright, and now we'll move on to some video. Now, of course, you're going to be watching a lot of video on devices like your smartphones, but having a 5.5-inch screen allows you to have a much larger real estate to be able to enjoy your videos, whether they be from places like Netflix or YouTube, and be able to enjoy them even more on this larger screen. And finally, here's a look at some text. Zoomed in on the Chrome browser, I went ahead and just zoomed right on into the text on here, and you can see that on one side you still have a very good pixel density that allows for the sharpness of the text, but on the other side it is not only comparable, it's also a little bit more far and beyond, just to be able to really give you that sharpness and clarity that you want to see in the text if you're going to be reading, say, ebooks or just browsing the web in general. And finally, at the end, we're just going to take a look at Epic Citadel. It's a benchmarking application that I haven't used in a little bit, but I thought it would be a good way of showing the 3D capability, not only of the processing package found within, but also in terms of looking at the screen and how well it is able to produce and to display all of these great graphical elements. Alright, and let's take a look at the handling. What we have here in the LG G2, the original from last year, is the small bezel, the thin bezel all around, that allowed for very easy handling despite this screen being a little bit larger than the other 5-inch screen devices out there. Also, you still had a pretty thin and very slim device, provided that the back button layout didn't need to add anything to the sides of this device. So all in all, this was one of the better handling devices despite having a larger screen. And since our devices are going to be blown up to larger sizes these days, the G3 is ahead of the curve by having that 5.5-inch screen, but it also has those small bezels that LG is so good at making, and the back button layout, of course, that allows this entire device to be nice and slim. But when it comes to the screen, those small bezels really do help, because if you ever use other large devices out there, it might be a little bit tough to use in one hand, but that's not the case with the G3. Especially for particular tasks that you would need to do in one hand, like, say, typing, you are able to reach the other side of the screen without much difficulty at all, and thus that makes this one of the most accessible large devices out there. With this screen and this bezel, this is also one of the more attractive ones because you have so much screen real estate to be able to watch and play anything that you want with no trouble at all. If you're not a proponent of larger screens on devices, well, maybe you just haven't tried one, because there are a lot of benefits to them. I already showed you the resolution that you find on the LG G3 because it has that Quad HD display, but by having a larger surface area for you to work with, you could do a lot of different things with the screen, like read even more because it can fit more, you can watch videos even easier, but also there's gaming, and I already showed you Epic Citadel earlier, but let me just show you right now what it looks like when you're gaming on the screen, because there's a lot of room to be able to maybe use the touch controls and still not obstruct any of the action that is happening on the screen. This is an example with Combo Crew, and it is a breeze on this display. Not only is it sharper here because of the higher resolution, but it's easier to actually play it because I'll be able to use the thumb controls on the sides without obstructing anything in the middle. And so, there you have it for this look at the screen of the LG G3. Now, one thing that is great about this screen is the fact that you get the best of both worlds. If you had a high resolution, but you had a smaller size display, you might not be able to really enjoy that high resolution quite as much. If you had a larger screen but a lower resolution, well, we've all had to deal with that before. It's not really the best case. In this phone, you get not only the larger screen at 5.5 inches, but you get the Quad HD resolution. And that allows for not only the great pixel density and clarity for all of the things that you want to do, but it also allows you the great screen real estate to be able to do all those things even easier than before. So keep it tuned to Android Authority for all the best coverage. We have even more coming of the LG G3 as the launch is happening all around the States right now. I'm sure a lot of you out there are getting your hands on this phone as we speak, and you can sound off in the comments below. So keep it tuned to Android Authority and check out the content from my colleagues in Android, Joe, Jace, Kevin the Tech Ninja, and Lon. Drop us some likes on our videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and remember that AndroidAuthority.com is your source for all things Android.